Is it possible that he's thinking about you in bed? That he fantasizes about you at night but would never say it out loud? Maybe he acts completely normal, casual, distant even, but his gestures, his looks, and the words he chooses reveal a lot more than you might think. In today's episode of Decode Love, I'll show you 7 subtle but powerful signs that he's thinking about you in a physical, sensual way. And I don't just mean lust. I'm talking about real emotional tension, the kind that lives in the space between thoughts and silence. Make sure to stay until the very end. The final sign may surprise you the most. And don't forget, new episodes of this series drop every Sunday, so subscribe if you haven't already. Let's begin. Some men are very good at hiding desire. Others, they send confusing signals, a look, a joke, a moment of closeness. Then they pull away. That's why today we're not focusing on what he says. We're focusing on what his body says, what his eyes betray, and how his behavior gives away the thoughts he doesn't want you to know about. Because desire doesn't start in the bedroom. It starts in the mind. Sign number 1. His eyes are full of tension. Have you caught him looking at you when he thinks you're not watching? Not just looking, lingering. And not just at your face. His gaze might drift to your lips, your collarbone, your legs. And when your eyes finally meet, he either quickly looks away or stares deeper. That pause, that slight widening of the pupils, that's where attraction lives. The eyes don't lie. They tell you what the mouth is too afraid to say. Sign 2. His touch carries intention. He touches you gently. A light brush on your arm. A hand on your back as you walk through a crowd, fixing your hair when it's not really out of place. It's not overt. He's not being inappropriate. But it happens often enough to make you wonder, was that just friendly? Here's the secret. If the touch feels charged, even for a split second, it probably wasn't an accident. Sign 3. Late night messages. If he texts you at 10 p.m., 11 p.m., midnight, with no real reason, that's not random. That's his mind drifting toward you when he's most relaxed, most uninhibited, most real. Nighttime brings out our emotional honesty. And if those late messages are slightly flirty, personal, or emotionally open, he's not just bored. He's imagining you, with him, alone, in the dark. Sign 4. His voice and posture change around you. When you walk into the room, he adjusts. Literally. He sits straighter, lowers his voice, slows down when he speaks. It's subtle, but it's there. His entire body becomes more present. Pay attention. Men often don't even realize they're doing this. It's a biological response to someone they're attracted to. And your presence? It's affecting him. Sign 5. His conversations always circle back to intimacy. No, he won't say it directly. But listen closely. Does he bring up dating? Flirtation? Does he make teasing comments like, "I bet you're dangerous in the right lighting," or "You seem like the type who breaks hearts in bed"? These aren't random. These are soft tests. He's gauging how you react, seeing if you're open to more suggestive energy. And he's doing it without making the first move. Yet. Sign 6. He remembers strangely specific, intimate details about you. He knows you sleep better with noise in the background. He remembers the scent you said you liked to wear before bed. He brings up that one time you said you love gentle touches on the back of your neck. These are not basic facts. These are private little notes he's collecting. Not because he's polite, but because he's thinking about you in quiet, tender ways. maybe even late at night, alone. Sign 7. Silence when things get intimate. Sometimes the loudest sign is the one he doesn't say. If you're talking about sex, attraction, or anything remotely sensual, and he suddenly goes quiet, smiles but doesn't reply, or quickly changes the subject, that's your answer. He's thinking something. And it's not exactly PG, but he's not ready to let it show. Men often fall silent not because they're confused, but because their thoughts are too revealing. He's afraid you might read his mind and see the truth. So what do you do with all of this? If you're noticing several of these signs, and if your gut is whispering yes, you're probably right. Women have an uncanny ability to sense energy, to feel attraction in the air, to decode the unspoken. But here's the most important part. It's not just about whether he thinks of you in bed. It's about what else he thinks of when he imagines you there. Is it just about your body? Or is there softness, curiosity, connection? The fantasy might be physical, but the longing often goes deeper. If this episode gave you something to think about, share it in the comments. Have you noticed any of these signs in someone around you? And make sure to subscribe, because Decode Love brings you a new story, a new truth, every Sunday. Until next time, remember, the most powerful desires are the ones we're too afraid to speak out loud.